I'm only ever going to post on here if I feel like I have something valuable to say, guys. And not only that, but the only reason I really post on here is because I'm obsessed. I am truly obsessed with this premise of mastery, right? I believe the men you aspire to be or the man that you want to be is not attached. He is not attached to the tangible, material, superficial aspects of this 3D realm that he inhabits in this particular incarnation. I believe that version of yourself in a parallel universe, because he's out there right now, by the way, you just need to upshift the channels in the parallel reality systems in order to inhabit him. He is obsessed. He is transfixed. He spends every hour of the day fixating on this notion, this idea of being a master. Being a master in his particular field of work. You know what it is? It's this fucking book up here. I'm gonna get this book. People obsessed about Robert Greene's power, right? They say, oh, have you read 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene? No, 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 no. Have you read this shit? This is the shit you need to read. This is the shit you need to be obsessed about. You can tell I'm obsessed by the state of this cover. Mastery, dude. Mastery. I don't care what you're fucking doing in life. You're a fucking hamburger flipper right now. If you aren't obsessed with some aspect of that occupation and becoming proficient and becoming the best in a world of it, quit it immediately. It is unbecoming of you. It is not congruent with that higher reality of that masterful version of yourself. Mastery. Now, if you haven't read this book, a brief little, I guess, summary of this book is about following the best people in the world in their respective fields. Da Vinci, Mozart, people who revolutionized their particular field of work. That's the highest version of yourself. That is art. This is art. Don't think about being the best. In whatever field. Think about becoming. How can you make what you're doing art? I'm trying to make what I'm doing art, and the medium in which I'm trying to portray that is speaking, is presentation skills, and it's really. I've got a couple points. My mind is going 100 miles an hour at the moment, but the point I'm trying to make here is, first and foremost, I only believe I'm going to post on this channel if I have something of genuine value to give to you, which I believe is the sentiment for which it proceeds in this video. But also, I'm obsessed with becoming a great speaker, a great presenter, a great coach. I'm obsessed with getting my insights, my knowledge, my wisdom, and synthesizing that in a way that is palatable to your ears, that is going to change the paradigm, change the perspective in which you are viewing the world. I'm obsessed with that idea because if I can impart that wisdom upon you, I truly believe that part of my value system and morals, which is a consequence of the things that I know and the things that I've experienced in life, will genuinely put you in a better position to serve the holistic direction of humanity. I genuinely believe that. And that might sound arrogant, by the way. It might sound arrogant. Who am I to say that sitting on my ivory tower here that I have a better moral code or vision than any other man? It's wild shit to say, isn't it? But I believe it. I believe it. I wouldn't be standing here saying it if I didn't fucking believe it. And hopefully you can feel, not just understand what I'm saying here. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So back to you. Let's talk about you, brother. I want to talk about you in this video. Whatever you're doing right now, if you've got a 9 to 5, if you've got a job, if you're studying at university or college, whatever the fuck you're doing, if there is not an aspect of what you're doing that you are not profoundly obsessed at becoming the best at, you need to remove it from your life immediately. Immediately. Because it is not conducive to this. It's not conducive to the highest version of you. And I'm going to go into this in a little bit more nuance. What I mean by that is, I'll give you my personal example. So I used to do a lot of, I used to be a PT years and years ago. After I stopped doing PT, I started doing education. Right? I started doing teaching people about how to become, PTs and trainers and physios and OTs and, experts in that field. I've always, in some aspect of my occupation, had an element of communication. Always. especially in a position where I'm seen as somewhat of an authority figure and I am imbuing insight and wisdom and knowledge into the other individuals. And I know that I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. And I read this book very early on, by the way. This is the first Robert Greene book that I got and I read and I understood the concept of. And once I understood the concept of it, I was like, yeah, speaking, communicating, presenting, imbuing, and synthesizing insight into wisdom, which is a practical application of what you understand. I like to call these people talking heads, right? A lot of people know what they should be doing, but they don't practice it. And that is not wise. Wisdom is actually the synthesis of your insight into practical application. So I know for a fact that meditation is one of the most powerful and interchangeable skills that a man can do in his life. Irrespective of what occupation you have, I don't care if you're a fucking gardener, meditation is going to help you be a better gardener. I don't care if you're a fucking stockbroker. Meditation is going to help you be a better stockbroker. And a lot of people know this, but they don't synthesize it into a practical habit. So I spend every single morning and every single evening in a culmination of at least 40 minutes of meditation. Not each setting, but it's 20 and 20. That's how you become wise. We're digressing here off the point. So mastery. If you're recognizing, if you're a man right now and you're watching this and you're recognizing, right, the occupation, the work that I'm doing right now, I can't see any part of this where I want to become the best at, you need to remove it. It's unbecoming. It's counterproductive to who you want to be. You just need to find an occupation that in some part of the system of work involves what you would like to become proficient at. It might be your work. I used to work in Starbucks, but I was serving people. I didn't want to be making the coffee. I wanted to talk to people because I wanted to become better at communication. I wanted to become more charismatic. I wanted to see if I could affect people in a positive way. I just wanted to talk to people and increase my communication skills. That was fundamentally important to me. I didn't give a fuck about making coffees, right? But that might be you. That might be part of the process, part of making art. I think if you can make a beautiful coffee, that's art. People who can make the fucking the heart, you know, on a cappuccino or a latte, whatever the case is, and give you this beautiful piece of art. That is art. That is art. And I know I have a buddy of mine actually who lives in London, and he's a barista, and he's just obsessed with coffee, just obsessed. Like, it doesn't have to be this grand vision of, you know, you making $100,000 a year. Like, of course, that's nice. That's nice. But there are probably coffee shops out there that make that much. And it's not because, well, the reason is because they're obsessed with art, because they're obsessed with, I want to be the best fucking coffee maker in the world. And people will pay you that kind of shit. Well, who's that motherfucker, Salt Bay, right? Charging like 30K a stake in gold. He's obsessed with becoming a master at it. He's obsessed. You need to be obsessed. If you don't have this, because that's when you don't need motivation, by the way. Like, motivation is the baby brother of discipline. I'm going to say that again. Motivation is the baby brother of disciplines. Discipline's your older brother. Discipline's been here before you were born. Discipline has been, you know, making those big movements before you could even walk, before you could even talk. You want discipline. You don't want to be the baby brother. You want discipline. How do you cultivate discipline? You cultivate discipline by having a vision of mastery, because there is no quantifiable metric to let you know that you are the master. It's a constant state of becoming. Masters never reach the point and they go, I think I'm done now. I think I'm the master at it. No, they go on into these microscopic details into, like, take the coffee example, you know, how long to foam the milk for, and what kind of milk it is, and what kind of cow. That's mastery. That's mastery. That's when you become a step above. That's when you start to add those minutia metrics to the equation, which, you know, creates this distance above your competition, because they don't care. They just want to fill their pockets. They just want to fill their bottom line. As long as the money's coming in, they're fine. But they will always fall short of the individuals that are obsessed with creating the greatest art in their respective field. Always. I promise you, if you cultivate what I'm trying to imbue upon you here in this particular video in respects to your art, and again, don't think about it as my job, my work, your art, your craft. Your craft. What is your craft? What is your art? I'm going to my job today. Ah, fuck that. You're going to go make art today. How are you going to go make art today? And don't approach it in this way where you're very blunt and you're not seeing. You need to see the art in what you're doing. If you can't see the art in what you're doing, you're in the wrong field. You're in the wrong field. When I was a personal trainer, I used to go to old people's homes and do like chair-based exercise with old people. I was obsessed at giving people positive emotion, the best workouts respective to their capabilities, and I took older people who were like in their 80s who'd been in a wheelchair for like six months after a hip replacement, and I got them walking again. And the care managers come over to me and say, like they're scratching their head and like, Edna's walking again. How the fuck have you done that? I thought it was impossible. I thought she was going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. I'm like, yeah, you don't get, like, people will do the bare minimum. I'm obsessed with art. Like that changes somebody's life. If you're able to do something for yourself like that. Now that's just an example. But a lot of people are doing that job right now and they don't see the impact. They don't see the art in what they're doing. I was creating art there. I was creating intense positive emotion in the families of, the younger daughter and the younger son whose mother, they just thought, oh, my mum can't walk anymore. She's done. She's going to be in a wheelchair and she's done. She's not going to be able to do stuff by herself. I'm going to be wheeling her all over the place. She's done. Don't understand what I can do. The art that I can give people. That's just one thing, man. So, don't be motivated by this video. If you're motivated by this video, fuck you. You need to be disciplined by this video. Be disciplined by this video. Go create art.